Welcome to your Daily 5 for Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. I am both happy and sad to report that I have reached the end of the Apocalypse tetralogy by Polish filmmaker Peter Solkin. Now, when I say sad, I don't mean because the last movie disappointed me in any way. I am simply sad that I have reached the end of what has been an amazing four-film journey, and one that ended in a really interesting way that I did not anticipate, but the level of quality has been maintained throughout. And honestly, I can't think, and I'll probably repeat this on our show, I cannot think of another four-film set that I've ever watched that has had this type of consistent level of excellence all throughout. I am really just still stunned that I have never come across this filmmaker in my entire life, because these movies are thoughtful, they are really open to interpretation, they are fascinating in terms of their visual inventiveness, the way that they make the most of what are clearly very limited budgets, and from what I've read in many cases, censorship of what could be said. It's just a remarkable set of movies. And Gaga, Glory to the Heroes from 1986 as the final film in the tetralogy does not disappoint. But as I said, it did not end the way that I thought it would. I'm not going to give it away. I will not get spoilers on this because I will talk about it. I need more time to really get into it, just like the other films. There's so much to talk about in this movie that I can't possibly cover it in 5 minutes. But I am thrilled that these movies stayed as good as they did all the way through. And the basic premise of this film, which I think I talked about on last Friday's show, is a prisoner on a space penitentiary cruiser is sent to a remote planet to be glorified as a subject of execution. So sent to a planet to be a glorified victim of state execution. And the movie is exactly that. This person is sent there and experiences a very, very disturbing society built on the premise of giving a person this wonderful short amount of time, a short, gloried life before they are publicly executed in front of people. And that's not really even a spoiler because that's laid out right from the beginning. So that part's not a spoiler. I won't get into the rest, but it is a really fascinating movie. And again, there are parts of it that you can absolutely interpret in different ways. There is, just like all the other movies, there are aspects where, and some of this, and this is a point that I will get into with Lando at length, is one of the fascinating things is the other movies and the way they've been set up almost preset you to start being suspicious of what the movie is showing you and what it means. So it is this constant layering and building up of interpretation and suspicion and trying to figure out what the accuracy that you are being shown is compared to what is intended. And I think that works really well. That can be very frustrating. It can. And certain movies do not handle it the right way. It is sometimes far too amorphous to try to discover what the ideas that you're being shown are. But I think this movie gives you very clear clues at different points what's going on or what may be going on, or perhaps just a different way to look at the movie. I don't necessarily feel like these movies have a specific concrete viewpoint, but instead offer a couple of different ones, almost like one of those lenticular covers where when you kind of go right or left with them, they shift. That's what these movies feel like to me. You can look at them one way or you can look at them another, and I don't think either one is invalid. I think that's the best examples of movies that handle an interpretive narrative are the ones that neither way it's interpreted, or more depending on how you look at it, but I'll say for one or another way to look at it, two different viewers seeing two different things is not something that is a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing. It means that you're bringing yourself into the actual movies. And all of these do that. And I think Gaga, Glory to the Heroes, it does one thing differently, which I can't talk about because it's a spoiler, so I'll get into it on Friday. But there's one thing that I was really shocked by that but in a good way, I was really surprised because I had just been, as I said, set up to look at these movies a certain way. And then there was one thing it did differently, and I was really delighted by it. So overall, the tetralogy, masterpieces, every one of them. If you can, and you're at all interested in movies like this, you should pick this setup as soon as possible. All the way through them and great. Gaga, Glory to the Heroes is a wonderful end to a wonderful tetralogy. Later.